Beasts all over the shop.
Indeed. The fire fades, and with it, the nameless, cursed undead rise again, as it always was, and it always will be. As in ages past, the ludicrous endeavor to contain the undead has been attempted. Little did they know, the curse could not be stopped. And it doesn't spare anybody, being widespread to all living beings, from the most vulgar rat to the most ordinary hound. Wardens were tasked with the disposal of the ever-rising mountain of corpses. Their clothes are utterly putrid, drenched in the blood and mucilage of their undertaking. But even so, endless hordes of weakened and lethargic hollows rise from the ground, becoming vessels for parasites, manifesting itself as a writhing mass of maggots and decaying flesh. People from all strata are affected. The lesser folk, poorly garrisoned with their loincloths and characteristic hoods, were set to work as slaves in the most various crafts. The foot soldiers of LOTHRIC, long hallowed, spread through the castle, and even the former venerable guardians of the royal family, a symbol and pillar of LOTHRIC since ancient times, are now mindless hollows, endlessly bound to their patrolling duty. Another pillar of LOTHRIC were the archive scholars, masters of the archives. They tended to their candles with a reverence that exceeds the simple burden of labor. And the three pillars of rule were irrefutable, negating the installment of the angelic faith founded by Gertrude, the Queen Holy Maiden. The imprisonment of Gertrude resulted in an open civil war between the faithful knights of the angelic faith and the knights of LOTHRIC. Beneath LOTHRIC, the inhabitants of the sprawling undead settlement were the first to attempt to contain the curse. With the aid of hammers, harps, and machetes to grind flesh and bone, they were designated with the dissection and burial of the undead. The denizens of the undead settlement were being guided by the evangelists of the Cathedral of the Deep, sent to the settlement to act as mentors and teach the path of sacrifice, as they truly believed was the way to salvation. The Cathedral of the Deep was maintained by its deacons, followers of Aldrich. In time, they were responsible for sealing away the horrors of the deep. And in this chore they were not alone, as the truthful knights of the cathedral were tasked with containing the abominations born between those walls and from inadvertent trespassers. The cathedral also housed the Giants, an enslaved race by the Church of the Deep and other factions, mighty creatures that now guard their darkest secrets. And Rosaria, whose servants collected tongues for her mistress so that they could be reborn. But as what? The sacrifices for Aldrich traveled through the road of sacrifices. Winged fiends and unwanted forlorn souls reside there, guided by heretic storytellers, forever searching for a place to call home. The undead legion settled nearby, but is now reduced to only ashes of its former glory. The sorcerers of the undead legion are now hollowed, but were once trained by one of the crystal sages due to a pact formed a long time ago. The remaining members degenerated to gruesome beasts, corrupted descendants of the legion acolytes that failed recreating the wolf blood they so deeply desired. And the gross, blunt-horned creatures, inhabitants of Farron Keep, are direct descendants of the Abyss Watchers, now mindless dwellers of the vast rotted wood. The poison wood is also home to other beings. These creatures are either the source of the poison that fills the swamps, or they are merely one of the few creatures that can survive in this poisonous and toxic environment. Between them, ashes from past times roam around the Abyss Watcher's resting place. Knights of New London that have fallen to the dark, they continue the plan of the furtive pygmy, aiming to usher an age of dark. The dark manifests itself in the bodies of unfortunate undead, a consuming chaos corruption, surging as an amorphous black blob, vaguely resembling some horrific beast in silhouette, but with no recognizable shape. However, they are not the only ash from past times. The Black Knights that served First Lord Gwyn became ash, but still wander the realms to this day, as the Silver Knights, who stayed behind to protect the humble manor and ruined cathedral despite their goddess has long since left. Beneath the Farron Keep, we find the warriors of Carthus that once served and protected High Lord Wulnir, widely known for their agile, fluid fighting style, dazzling their opponents with their prowess. Even deeper, the remains of lost Izalith can be found, with the number of demons significantly diminished due to the extinguishing of the Chaos Flame. Fire gives way to ice, and we reach the cold hallways of IRITHYLL. The main populace is constituted by the hollowed and frail laborers of IRITHYLL that blend naturally into the corners and darkness of the frigid city. The Pontiff Knights compose the brute force of the city, harrowed spirits that once served as the watchful eyes and punitive blades of Pontiff Sullivan. The knights were led by the IRITHYLLIAN witches, whose heart was swallowed by the profaned flame. On the other hand, the Outrider Knights, usually dispatched to foreign lands, were given a bewitched ring that transformed them into frenzied beasts. Peering into the black orb would drive one mad. IRITHYLL sprawled deep beneath the ground, where we found the few last survivors that inhabited the profaned capital, later serving under Pontiff Sullivan's commands. Perhaps the screams emanating from the cells helped them forget their old home, as these women took pleasure in wounding others. In these dungeons, unworthy experiments were left to rot in the cold cells, twisted hybrids of human and dragon, their agonized screams echoing through the walls, constantly flagellating their undeserving skin. Other reptiles can be found easily in LOTHRIC. This small titanite reptile carries on its back a precious gem of sorts. However, in rare cases, upon devouring souls, they grow to monstrous proportions. Probable brethren are the rock lizards, despite the lack of display of its characteristic prisms encrusted on their bodies. They can be found far away in the Dragon Peak, together with the descendants of the ancient dragons, though they have fallen far from grace. But far more parlous creatures meander in the vast land of LOTHRIC, lashing at you from the corner of your eye, from the most uncanny fauna. To massive hulking beasts that range from extraordinary creatures to horrific products of your worst nightmares.
Hello guys, thank you very much if you watched the whole thing. This video was a lot of work to do. Thankfully I had the help of Ian Gordon. He's a super friendly guy and he's doing the voice in this video. So if you liked it, go check his channel. Mostly if you like Lovecraft too, because he does a lot of audiobooks and he features it in some of them. So yeah, go pay his channel a visit. And subscribe to the channel if you like this video. There's a lot more content related with Dark Souls coming in the future, so keep tuned. And I see you guys later in my next video. See ya.